morning.
It's still muted.
No, it's not. We're good. Hello. It's Sunday.
And you know what that means.
It's day 2 of the Great Bead Extravaganza. Welcome in, everyone. Let us know if you can hear us okay. Let us know if you can see us okay. I'm Abby.
And I'm Alex.
And we are a part of the Bead Place. We are a brick and mortar bead and yarn shop in the St. Louis area. And we're also an online retailer and wholesaler. So we are excited. Yay. Are you dancing? I haven't had enough caffeine this morning to dance yet. Alex, can you switch the ticker for me to display our coupon code? Our coupon.
This one right here?
Our mic on our hand cam is better, so that's why we bring the hand cam in first and then bring the hand cam out, and then it's early. Ones and twos.
Hey, before we get started though, make sure that you like the video.
If you're watching on Facebook.
Or on YouTube. Oh, heart it on YouTube.
Like the video if you're watching on YouTube. Heart the video if you're watching on Facebook. And share it with all of your friends. We would appreciate it. So today we are going to be making a bead woven and kind of like faux macrame. Little bit of macrame. Not a lot. But it looks like a lot of macrame. We're gonna be making a totally tubular bracelet.
I love faux.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
like
Alex,
the noodles.
Yep. Alex is gonna link the kit. I get it. Alex is gonna link the kit in chat for you guys. The kit our project features a little bit of peyote stitch. So this is a great way to kind of tiptoe into peyote stitch if you've not done peyote before. And if you have done peyote before and you decide peyote is not for you, guess what? I have an alternate design for this kit so that you can create a beautiful bracelet that looks almost the same with no bead weaving at all. So I'm really excited to get started. And yeah, you guys ready?
Are you ready?
Oh, loud.
Hey, you got to bring the energy.
All right. Can you feature our hand cam, please? Hit that one right there. Awesome.
It's been a long time since I've done this.
So first I'm going to go over the colorways with you guys. We have restocked all kit colors. We sold out once and we were like, we sold out too quick on some of these colors. We've got to quickly make more. So we are restocked on all colors now. But this one is our yellow colorway, which is what I'm going to be making today because you guys know I love that mustard yellow color.
I'm posting it right now in the comment section. So if you want the kit, a kit, maybe 2, maybe for a friend or a loved one.
A lot of you guys are buying 4 kits because they look so nice to all stack together. And remember to use code TGBE 20 at checkout to save 20% off site-wide.
Get you a discount.
So this is the red colorway. And we are under kind of intense lighting here, but just know these colors shine beautifully in better lights. So this is the teal colorway.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Rosalinda, Kim. How y'all doing?
And then this is the periwinkle colorway. This is the one that I wasn't.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, this is the one that I wasn't sure about, but this has been our strongest seller so far.
Gorgeous.
Isn't that cool? So I do want to tell you guys that this color looks way more blue under our camera lights than it is in real life. It is a nice kind of cornflower periwinkle tone.
Yeah, I like it.
All right. You guys ready to get started? Let's see some hearts in chat if you're ready to get started.
Yeah, tap that heart. Throw us
We've
some hearts.
got well over 100 people watching.
Holy
so
smokes.
That's awesome. So I am first going to show you the 2 different versions of the bead. So this is our peyote version here. If you are ready to try your hand at peyote, or if you're already a peyote wizard, this might be what you want to try. If you're not into bead weaving, give it a try. Give it a try today. But if you decide that it's not for you, which nothing wrong with that. We all have what we're into, and that's that.
That's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line because Abby says so.
Oh, snap.
Oh, snap. This is our alternate version. And this is just bead stringing. This isn't bead weaving at all. And I'm going to show you guys how. So first, let's start with our peyote version. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my materials ready. So in my kit, what I have is a bunch of beads and a bunch of little baggies of seed beads. I'm going to pull out my seed beads and I'm going to pull out my tube beads. So this yellow colorway has these beautiful kind of antiqued yet also fabulously iridescent tubes. And that's what I've chosen to start with. So I also have my little baggie of delicas. The delicas are size 11 delicas. And then I have my 15s, which I'm not going to pull out of that kit right now just because I'm not ready to make a mess yet. But I've got a full tube. Yeah, we'll make a mess later. We got to keep things clean for now. But I have my little tube of 15s that I'm going to dump out on my mat. That's way too many.
Good morning, Karen. How are you doing?
So you get a bunch of Fireline in your bracelet. And we're going to start with about 12 inches of Fireline. Now, I thought I had absolutely everything prepared for our stream today. However, I forgot my tape measure, so I'm just going to guess that this is a foot of Fireline. This is 8-pound Fireline. That's my preferred stringing material for this project. If you are anti-Fireline, you could switch to Nymo or Eslon or 1G or any of those stringing materials that you like. Just know that it could affect your tension a little bit. So also in your kit, you have a big eye beading needle. So the big eye beading needle opens up like this. The whole eye is your needle. So you just thread your length of Fireline. And again, we're working with about a foot.
How are you doing?
So what we're going to do, since we are doing peyote, I have to get more delicas out. Since we are working with peyote, this particular type of peyote that we're doing, tubular peyote, requires us to start with our first two stitches, or I'm sorry, our first two rows combined into one. So we're going to string 20 beads. And because the biggest number that our brain can visually recognize without manually counting is 5, that's how I'm going to break my sections apart. So I've strung 5 beads, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then another 5. And then that helps me know that I've done 4 sections of 5, of course, makes 20. So we've got 5, we've got 5,
good morning,
5, and we've got 5. We did it. So it's really important to make sure that your first row has the correct number of beads. So we've got 20 beads on. We're going to slide that past the needle, but not off the end of the Fireline. So make sure you're grabbing the end of the Fireline. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the needle up through those beads again. So my tail is down here. My working thread is up here. So this can be a little tricky, but what I like to do is just make sure I'm holding them in a straight line. And sometimes I can even get the needle through in one pass. It's easier if there's not a camera between me and what I'm looking at, but I think that's probably a given. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tighten that loop into a circle.
Good morning, Barb.
And we're not going to do any knots on this peyote bead. If we are doing the non-peyote version, which I'll show you in just a few, then we will do knots. But we're not going to do any knots. So we've got this little circle here. We want about 1 inch of tail thread. So in order to kind of transition the slack, you can just hold the circle and pull on this side or pull on this side. But we need to have a good inch to keep us secure. Okay.
And if y'all have any questions, send them through. I will do my best to try and field them. Well, rather, relay them You don't want me answering your questions. That's for sure. But I will relay them to Abby so she can answer them.
I'll answer for you. Okay, so we're going to pick up one delica on our needle. We're going to look at where our thread is coming out, and we are going to skip a bead and go into a bead. So I'm going to go into this bead right here, and I hope that's clear. I'm going to take a second to let you guys look at this, or even screenshot it if you need to, because this is important. All right, let us know in chat if this is clear. It always looks clearer on our camera screens than the stream. But here's a tip. If you go back and watch the replay on YouTube later, it'll be way more clear. All right, so now we're going to pick up another bead, and we are going to skip this bead right here, and we're going to go through the next bead. So basically, we're picking up a bead and then going through a bead, picking up a bead and then going through a bead. So we start to get this kind of every other pattern. And you guys might start to see these black lines appearing on my hands. You will probably experience that too if you're using the smoke fire line. There is nothing wrong. That's just the colorant that they use on the fire line, and it rubs right off. It won't affect you at all. So we're just going to work this way around the circle. The base row is really important to make sure that we're setting ourselves up for success. So let me know in chat how many of you are new to peyote. I want to know if we've got any newbies in chat. I recognize some of the names coming through as people that I know have done peyote before. But let me know if you're new to peyote. And if you're just joining us, we are doing the Totally Tubular Bracelet Kit. We are kicking off day 2 of the Great Bead Extravaganza. We have hour-long presentations from industry experts all weekend long. So you can go ahead and watch the replays of anything you missed on the YouTube channel or the Facebook page and get caught up if you missed anything. But don't worry, you've got a full day ahead of you of lots and lots of fun. So we can put the schedule on the screen again a bit later, but the schedule has been posted everywhere. All right, so this is what we've got so far. I am going to, whoops, sorry, earthquake. I am going to kind of resituate my work because I was doing a little bit funny.
Nice.
Or I was holding it a little funny.
That's a good idea. Sue says she jumped over to YouTube so she can put it on the big screen.
Oh, nice. All right, so this is what we have so far. We've gone all the way around. We have a little circle of 1 bead, 2 beads, 1 bead, 2 beads, 1 bead, 2 beads. All right, so now what we're going to do is step up. So here's our thread.
Step off.
We're going to go up here, and we're going to step up. Oh, I missed it. It looks like I went through it on the camera. Okay, we are going to go through and step up. And now we're ready to just kind of fill in the blanks. So we're going to pick up a bead. And you see how it looks like there's a little bead missing here? We're just going to go through that one right there and start to fill in those blanks. And as we work, our work will start to like kind of tube up rather than working out flat as we pull tight tension. So we're going to pick up a bead and go through the next bead. Pick up a bead and go through the next bead. So this project that we're doing today is a really fun way to make your beads even more special. Because obviously this bead is pretty darn special on its own. But when we add a layer of beadwork to it, whether it's peyote or whether it's embellished through other methods, it just really adds some extra flair to your designs. So you're going to pick up a bead, go through a bead, pick up a bead, go through a bead. So I'm not able to see all of the comments. If you guys have asked a question and we miss it, go ahead and send me a message on the Bead Place Facebook page, and we will do our best to get back to you in a timely manner. Anne says, I missed the beginning. How many beads did you start with? I started with 20 beads, which is actually our first 2 rows. So with this project, we are doing 10 beads per row. All right, so I've almost made it all the way around my row. So I see that Wendy says, I think of this, but then I never do it. Well, my way to get around that is to just practice on some beads in my spare time, even if I don't have a home for them yet, if I'm not kind of planning to put them into anything. Because when I have a few embellished beads laying around, it makes it easier for me to implement them into my designs if they're already done, if that makes sense. Okay, so now that we've got our first 2 rows almost complete, what we're going to do is we're going to slide this onto one of our beads. You want to make sure it's not twisted. So if there are any twists, you can kind of work those out. And then before we start that next row, we want to kind of cinch everything up a little bit. Alrighty. So you see how it starts to tighten to the bead? And we're not going to use any glue here either. It's just going to tighten itself to the bead. So we're going to add that last bead on. But then what I want you guys to see is that we still have to do a step up. Let me get the tail end out of the way. We still have to do a step up to get to where we need to be to add our next row. So our thread is coming out here, and we have to step up to go into the next row. So we're going to pick up a bead, go through a bead, and as I work through this row, I'm going to have Alex kind of read back through some of those comments and see if there's any questions that I missed. And then, Alex, if you wouldn't mind, if you could link the kit one more time for us before we move on.
Here's the kit. It is inbound. Do you have to start out with an even number of beads? Good question.
So there's odd count peyote and even count peyote. For tubular peyote like this, it helps to have an even number of beads. But for flat peyote, you can either do odd or even count. And this is a size 11 seed bead. I see Ruth asks, what size is the bead? We're using size 11 delicas on this project, and we're also using size 15 seed beads. And guys, I am going to try my best to get everything clear and in focus on these steps. But if there's any spots that you missed, or that I missed actually, that are not clear, let me know, and I can kind of backtrack and go over a couple of things for you. Bead weaving underneath the bright lights is not always easy, but I'm going to try my best to get everything clear. I'm going to bring this a little closer to my eyes so I can see it.
Did you already answer that?
I did, yeah. Unless it's maybe possible you were asking what size the tube is. I believe it's a 12 by 7. All right, so I just did my step up.
Is this like a brick stitch?
It's not. It's a peyote stitch, which is similar in the way it looks to brick stitch, but the way that you stitch it is kind of different. But similar looking finished results.
Do you have tutorials on all the different types of peyote?
I do not, but I bet some of the other presenters that are working today or presenting this weekend have tutorials on peyote. But this is a great way to get started. And we've done other peyote tutorials on the Great Bead Extravaganza, I believe last Midwinter Market. we did a peyote bezel using tubular peyote. So we're going to skip up one bead to bring us into that next row. That's our step up. So I want you guys to take notice that, you know, this is slipping around on the bead a little bit. It's going to do that. Don't think that your tension is wrong if your bead is slipping around, because watch what happens next. Oh, actually, I want you guys to take a screenshot of this if you can. Don't put my ragged fingernails in there. I'll get them out of the way. Take a screenshot of this if you can, because this is 5 rows of peyote. And that's what we need in order to move on to our next step. In total, we're going to do 7 rows of peyote, but the outer 2 rows, we're just using our 15s. So this is the step where we're going to move on to our next type of bead, which is the size 15s. So what's going to happen as we do our outer rows with size 15s is it's going to cinch the bead to our tube. So the outer 2 rows are going to be tighter. So this is essentially a peyote bezel. So Emma says, that peyote bezel was so good. Well, thank you, Emma. Guess what? This is the exact same thing. I kind of get into these, I don't know, little phases of techniques that I like to see how many different applications I can do. So this is the exact same thing. It's just not bezeled as tight. And so this step that we're doing here, by adding a smaller bead and pulling tighter, we're actually creating a bezel. So the outer 2 rows that we do are going to tighten the tube of beads that we're making to the tube bead. And of course, we're not going to get it so tight that you could never move it, but we've created a bracelet design that will make it so that
Good morning, Gina.
they can't escape. So even if this did happen to slide off, it would never go anywhere. All right, so I've done an entire row of 15s.
You step up with the 2 rows of BRL.
You need to step up for every single row that we do.
Step up.
Okay, that's
Step up.
okay, so I've done an entire row of my 15s. Now what I'm going to do is go through.
What size is your tube bead?
12 by 7. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through the next 15, and then we are going to pull tight, and then we're going to travel our needle to the other side. So how we do that is we are going to go through this delica here, and then this next delica here. And we're essentially just going to work diagonally across. Alex, where are we on time?
It is currently 10:53.
Oh my goodness.
That time check brought to you by nobody.
Barb, we do. We may not have them listed on the website right now because we just did a check glass sale a few weeks ago on our live shows. But if you go watch the previous live sales, you can send us a message with your order. All right, so now we've landed to the other side. We've picked up a size 15, and we're just going to do the same thing on this other side here. And pull tight as we go. And before we get too far, we're just going to get rid of this tail that's hanging out. So I'm just going to take my cutter and trim it off. We don't have to knot it in or anything. All right, so we're almost done with this bead. I'll show you guys the alternate bead method, and then we'll make a bracelet. So after our presentation, the wonderful Heather Powers is on with Humble Beads. We've got a fun-filled day, lots of great presentations. You'll actually see us a bit later in the day. We are hosting our friend Lauren DeVue of the Needlepoint Clubhouse at 4:30 Central. So I'm excited to learn different ways to use seed beads that I haven't experimented with before. So as I'm going around
and ask, love this, do you have the kit in other colors? We do. I can actually answer this question.
Yeah.
And you can check out all the colors right in this link that I just sent. Click on that link, check out all the colors. We'll go through it a little bit later towards the end of the broadcast, but simple question is yes, check out the link. You can, and it goes for everybody. If you want to buy one of these kits, make sure you click that link and, of course, use today's coupon code to save yourself 20%. It is TGBE 20, and that saves 20%. Also, that goes for pretty much anything on the website right now.
Yep, anything except classes or subscriptions.
So,
alrighty, so we have done the outer 2 rows. Now, in order to get rid of this thread, I'm not going to bore you with making me watch the whole thing, but essentially what we're going to do to kind of anchor our tail end is just kind of zigzag the thread through a little bit so we can kind of follow the pattern and just zig and zag.
Zigzag.
And make sure you've gone around at least a good 10 beads or so. And then we'll be good. Okay, so we'll just pretend like I did a bunch of zigzags and then we're going to cut it. So with this last 2 rows, I want you guys to notice how much tighter this is on here. So I can wiggle it a little bit, but it is not falling off of there.
Wiggle when I wiggle.
Okay, so we're gonna do 3 of these fancy beads.
It's size 15 on the last row of the tube to cinch up the peyote tube to fit the bead.
Great question. Yes, it is. All right. So it's because I'm messy with glue, so I never want to use glue. I can't stay neat. So this is our alternate method. So if you are not into the peyote look, or if you're not into making peyote beads, look at this. Look at this. These are separate strung circles. So let me get about an 8-inch length of fire line, and we're going to make a circle. I misplaced my needle, so I'm going to grab a new needle out. It's nice to have needles on hand if you misplace things like I do. And Alex, can you link our Big Eye beading needles in case you need to stock up on needles to have on hand for when you misplace things? So I've got a new needle here. I'm going to string my 8-inch length of fire line through it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to demonstrate one of these to you guys. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start stringing 20 beads. But on our outer 2 rows, we're going to do delica 15. Right. Delica 15. Delica 15.
There is the link to the Big Eye beading needles.
Thanks.
And check it out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so this is going to look familiar. Can I have a little bit of elbow room? Thank you. We're going to slide this down, making sure we're holding the tail end so those beads don't fly off the bottom. We're going to slide this down. We're going to make sure we have our count. And then we're going to take the needle up through all those beads again, from the tail end side to the working side. And that's going to create this cool little cinched circle like what we did to start our peyote. Make sure you're still grabbing the tail end when we pull this through. Now, if you are a very dexterous person, you can get by with using about 4 inches of fire line. You don't have to use 8 inches, but if you're new, you might want to do 8 inches. So look at this fun little circle that we've gone through twice now with that little loop method. We're going to take our tail ends and we're going to tie them. But before we do that, it's important to slide it on the bead and then tighten it by tying it directly to the bead. So I don't have another empty bead in my design, but just know that if you were creating this design, we would tie it with a square knot, just like this, and you would tighten it directly onto the bead. Now, for the sake of time, I'm going to pull this off, and I'm actually going to use this as one of my little spacers on my beaded design. So you can see we've got these fun little beaded spacers. So I'm going to tighten this off of my design. But if you were to make the beaded bead, you would tighten it on your bead. Then our next bead that we would make would be 20 delicas only, and then this will fall off because it's looser. Remember, delicas are bigger than 15s. So string it on, and then to anchor it on, we're going to do another circle of size 15s and size delicas, kind of every other, making sure you have 20 beads. So 20 is kind of our magic number for this design. Okay, so I'm going to get back to tightening this guy. I'm going to do another square knot here. And guys, if you've got a thread zap, this is the perfect project for a thread zap. I don't know. I like tying knots. So no knots in peyote, but knots for the little circles.
Thread zap. I'm on threads.
Me too. The Great Bead Extravaganza is on threads too. That was a great segue into saying if you guys are on threads, you can follow the Bead Place and the Great Bead Extravaganza.
And me.
And Alex, yeah. So we've got all these little circles now. And I'm going to show you guys how to assemble them into a bracelet. So we've got our beaded beads, whether
Ramona,
they're...
Thank you. If you are watching and you're enjoying what you're watching, make sure to like the video if you're watching on YouTube, heart it if you're watching on Facebook, and of course subscribe, but also share it with everybody, all your beading friends. That way they see these sweet projects and maybe they get inspired.
They see the sweet projects.
Sweet projects.
All right. So in your kit, guys, we have a variety of other materials.
Addie, you're a great teacher.
Thank you. So in the kit, you're going to have some beautiful Javanese or Indonesian porous glass. We also have some beautiful ebony wood beads. And we have some jewelry tube. So with the jewelry tube, what we're going to do is we're going to cut our 36-inch piece into 2 18-inch pieces. And the easiest way to do that is to fold it in half and then use your cutter and cut it at an angle, giving us sharp points. Well, let me find the focus. There we go. So we've got sharp points.
You gotta find your comfort.
You gotta find your comfort.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is first find a porous bead out of our little collection of porous beads that's gonna operate the best as a clasp. So because these beautiful beads are all handmade, you can see some of them have different sized holes. So find one first that is going to make a slide clasp. Like that one's a little small. So let's pick maybe this one. Oh yeah, that's going to be perfect. You want it to be snug, but just make sure to check those first. So I'm going to set that one aside. So we're going to put this one up here as our guide. while we're working. I could also recommend to you to have your little kit label with you so that you can easily see what comes next. So we're going to start with a bead in the center. On this bracelet, I'm going to do my little non-peyote bead in the center. And I'm going to string that to the center of my, on one of my tubes, or one of my lengths of jewelry tube, just like that. And then I'm going to take my other piece of jewelry tube and hold the two ends together. And I'm going to string an ebony wood onto it. Now, these ebony wood pieces are also hand cut. If you are finding that they don't go through very easily, you can just take your cutter or a file and just kind of do this a little bit. Most of these should be fine though, although I do want to tell you they will be tight going on, and that is on purpose. So we are going to, can I get a little bit more elbow room? Thank you. We are going to make sure that our design stays centered so we have enough room to work on either side. So good deal. And now we're going to do the same thing with our other side here. Heather says, can you use regular leather? Don't have jewelry tube. You can, however, it's not going to have the same, it's not going to have the same stickiness that I like in this design. The beads might move a little bit more, but that's okay. You can get creative and do whatever you want. You might have to be a little bit more precise with the bead that you choose for your adjustable bead that makes the bracelet open and close, because leather's not going to have that bounce that the jewelry tube will have. Okay, so this is what we've got. So what I'm going to do is make sure that my design is still centered by putting all four ends of my jewelry tube together. And then I'm going to just slide down and make sure everything is centered. We're good. Okay, so because I like little bits of weirdness, I want to show you guys that I intentionally offset these little beaded spacers. If you don't like little bits of weirdness, you can make your bracelet symmetrical. But I like weird. So
let's get weird.
Let's get weird.
Type let's get weird into the comments.
Yeah.
Let's get weird.
Let's get weird.
Let's get weird. Let's get weird.
Don't bang the table.
Weird, weird, weird.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to pick up one of our little beaded spacers that we've already made when we did our seed beads. We're going to make 6 of them. And we're going to string that little guy on. So I'm going to try and stop flinging seed beads all over the place. So then what we're going to do is we're going to pick the other side, the side that we did not string this yellow on, and we're going to string one of our porous beads so that our little empty threads are going to start to zigzag.
Can we buy the beads only?
Yeah. Just send us a message on Facebook or through our website if you're interested in purchasing loose beads.
But if you would rather have the entire kit, I just linked it in the comment section. So no matter where you're watching, whether it be Facebook or YouTube, you can click on that link and go purchase it. And don't forget to use this weekend's coupon code TGBE20 to save 20% site-wide at beadplace.net. TGBE20 for 20% site-wide, and you can use that on anything on the site
except for subscriptions and classes. All right, I had a bead I had to ream.
But you could get a magical crimper, you could get a mandrel, you could get a bead mat. You get 2 bead mats if you want, if you're feeling real spicy.
That's true. Okay, so here we go. This is what we've got. So do you see that the kind of like empty cord is zigging and zagging? So
When I
in
did
order
Bezeling.
to make this make sense in my brain, now that I've done this section, I have to go back and do this section. So that's
We're at
the way.
11:10, just a heads up.
Okay, perfect.
Hi, Carmen. How are you doing?
That's the way it makes sense to me. So let me make sure I'm on camera here.
Thank you, Janelda. She said,
I know he went
Alex
off and
is such a plus to do all lives. Y'all do.
he went off and got a real job. But we love Becky too. Hearts in chat for Becky. Becky's awesome. She adds
great.
such creativity
And she knows
and personality. Yeah,
she
and
actually knows what she's talking
stuff.
about.
Yeah,
I just
that's helpful.
Promote the website and tell y'all to like and subscribe.
He's just loud.
But I do it in a voice which
smoothing velvet voice. All right, so this is what we've got so far. And now we are going to add our cute little beaded spacer onto. Oh no, wait! I forgot a little beaded spacer. Alex has the best announcer voice.
Listen,
I was getting excited.
The Bead Place podcast win.
Stop. So I forgot, guys. I'm sorry. I needed to add another one of these little.
What is largest wrist size the bracelet will accommodate with the supplies provided?
Approximately 10 inches.
I don't even know what size wrist I am.
Everybody's got different wrists. All right, there we go. Back where we needed to be. Okay, so now we are going to string on the other side.
Janella said, I thought Alex always had a real job.
Well, like a real job, not at the bead place. This is a fun job. Oh, let me grab a different one here. So having those beads cut to an angle, or I'm sorry, having that jewelry tube cut to an angle is important because this is kind of a tight fit project, which is why sometimes leather won't make it as easy. The jewelry tube has a bit of bounce to it. So you can see I have the beaded bead on the same side as what we did before here. And I'm going to do another ebony bead. The jewelry tube kind of has some squish to it. Oh, sorry. And then you can kind of force it through. And that's what's so cool about this bracelet is because it is a little bit more of a tight fit, you're able to retain these waves. Yep, it is rubber. All right, so then after that one, we're going to go in with another porous glass, but we're switching sides again. And then after the porous glass comes another one of our little beaded spacers. And again, we're going to do 6 of those beaded spacers in the design. And then another ebony. And now that I've done that one, we are going to go back to the other side. I keep going off camera, but it's just so that I can see what I'm doing. I know the focus is on you guys seeing what I'm doing, but I need to be able to see in order to do it, right? Okay, so we're going to go back and we are going to work the other side. Give me just a second here. All right, so now that we are here, we are going to figure out which side we're stringing our beaded bead on. Got it. And then after the beaded bead comes our ebony. And we're just going to force that in.
The yellow beads are porous. Can you add scented oils to them, or will the oil discolor the beads?
Well, it's more just that the oil won't absorb because it's glass, and the only thing that the oil might absorb into is like the bead release or the dirt, but that'll come off. Okay, so we've added our next ebony. We're going to add another one of our cute little beaded circles. We're going to add, we're going to figure out which side our porous glass is going to go to. We're going to string that on. And then another ebony. How are we on time, Alex? Am I going to have time to show the dangles? Oh, perfect. I knew we'd be close, but I think we're doing good. Okay, we did it. Look at that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to figure out our sizing. So like we said earlier, everybody has different wrist sizes. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it around our wrist and we're going to tighten or loosen our design in order to accommodate your personal wrist size. So for me, I need to tighten my design just a little bit. So in order to do that, I'm just going to start kind of cinching stuff in a little. Oh, did you see I pulled on this, but it couldn't go anywhere because it's locked in. So that's what I meant earlier, where you never lose your little beaded bead section. Because it's locked in. Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Okay, so I've cinched. The other thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that our tension is even on both sides, which it looks like it is. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to do our beaded adjustable dangles. So to stop our beads from falling off, we need to do a knot on both sides. We are going to tie an overhand knot on one side just by making a loop and pulling the tail ends through the loop and pulling tight. No need to glue it because this jewelry tube is kind of bouncy, so it'll hold those knots really well. We're going to do the same thing on this other side. Make a loop, pull those tail ends down, and cinch it. So we've got this so far. Now what we're going to do is we're going to find the longest cord on both ends. And those are the ones we're going to keep. And we're going to get rid of the shorter one. So we're going to trim those at a little bit of an angle. But keep in mind, we're keeping one cord on both ends. And you can save these pieces. Don't throw these away. Save these pieces for your designs. I'm going to have Alex find our bit of bling bracelet from our YouTube channel. No, just the tutorial, because they've already got most of what's in the kit already, just with their leftovers from this kit. And I'm going to challenge you guys to make something with your leftover pieces of jewelry tube. And then post it in our Facebook group, and we will choose a winner. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. Now what we're going to do is find our bead. I don't remember which one of these I set aside for my clasp. I think it was this one. We're going to find the bead that you set aside for your clasp, and we're going to string it on one side, and we're going to bring it farther down.
So I just linked the kit. You can click on that to purchase, but I'm also about to send the YouTube video for the other kit that Abby's talking about, Bit of Bling. It's a tutorial, so you can check that out. And while you're there,
oh, hold on, we're short on time, so I gotta sell this. Okay,
so subscribe.
We've strung the porous bead on one side, and then we're taking the other one through it. And if you're having a hard time, guess what? This jewelry tube is rubber, so we can stretch it a little bit, and it gets thinner. And then look, that tail end pops out. Okay, so we're gonna slide that back, and look at that. We've got an adjustable slide. Isn't that cool? So we're gonna make sure that this can fit on over your knuckles. We shouldn't be stretching it when we take it on and off. So make sure you've got it at a good size. And then make sure that your ends are even here. So like if this side was longer than this side, we would just want to make sure to pull a little bit more length back into that one side. Okay, so now we're going to make these cute little dangles here. The way that we're going to do that is we are going to string our ebony bead. We should now at this point have 2 of these cute little beaded dangles left, because remember earlier, Movie Magic, we made 6 of them. We're going to string that on. Then we're going to pick our porous bead. We're going to string that down. And we're going to knot really close right here.
11:20.
Perfect. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Now the reason why we're knotting close and stringing this up tight is because when we pull the bracelet to cinch it on, when we put it on, then those dangles will stretch out. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second. Okay, so this is what we've got. We're going to tie that last overhand loop, and we are going to tighten. We're going to trim those tail ends. Remember, trim it at an angle, not only to make it easy to work with, but also because in this instance, it looks cute. So this is what we did. And then when we tighten it, we have those fun long dangles. So this bracelet is adjustable not only when you're making it in size, we can really do a wide variety of sizes, but then when you go to put it on, you've got these dangles and you can cinch it tight and wear it. And oh, is it cute? I love it. I love it. I love it. And hopefully you guys do too. Because we have just a little bit of time left, I am going to show you those colorways one more time. We just finished another one of these yellow bracelets. This one that we just finished features the non-bead weaving bead in the middle.
Is it possible to get additional tubes using the earrings where we make the bracelet?
Totally. Just send us a message and we can put together something for you. So this was our yellow colorway. Oh my gosh, you guys, thank you so much for these purchases coming in. My phone's blowing up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys know we're all small businesses. We all kind of rely on the support of you guys to keep our businesses afloat. So it really means a lot to me and to all of us when you guys support us, not only in the chat, but on our websites as well. So this is the teal colorway. Another one of my, I just love them all. I love them all. This is the red colorway. And then the periwinkle colorway. And we are fully restocked on all colors, you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Would you mind bringing us back to the face cam so we can say a proper hello again? Oh. Hi. Let me scoot back a second. Hello. I hope you guys had a good time. I had a great time. Did you have a good time?
And I helped.
If we missed any questions, if you have any questions after the stream, rather than putting them in the comments of the stream, the best place to reach us is either through our website on the Contact Us page or message us on Facebook.
Also, I'm going to send the kit in the comments for the last time.
Last time.
If you want to purchase it, click that link. Use the coupon code TGBE20 to save 20%, and that works site-wide, so you can use that on anything. So if you need to pick up anything. Mm-hmm. Some of these.
I do just want to use our last few minutes to share with you guys some of the things that we do here at the Bead Place. So not only are we a brick and mortar bead shop and yarn shop, but we also have a wide variety of kits and tutorials. I personally have a YouTube channel that I started over 10 years ago.
60,000 plus subscribers.
And
tap that
there are over 100 free tutorials. So if you enjoyed my teaching style, if you like my projects, you can check out my YouTube channel. All of the presenters this weekend have content that we put out all the time, and we would love your support to continue through the rest of the year and into the next year and for years to come. And we hope to have these events for you guys forever. But in order to keep that happening, we love it when you guys show up to support us in the streams and the videos. So thank you guys for being here. If you are in the St. Louis area or within traveling distance of the St. Louis area, you can come check us out in the store. We have classes in person. We've got hotels around. A lot of people come into town to take classes with our staff of experts.
16 hotels right out our window.
And our big thing is, see, now he says there's hotels. So stop. You're going to get me going. So now we have, what was I going to say? Darn. Anyway, we've got hotels. We do a lot of classes by appointment. So if there's something you want to learn from us and you know you're going to be in town at any particular time.
We also do live streams straight from our Facebook
schedule
page.
An appointment with us and we will schedule a class for you.
And majority of these people aren't local. But they can watch every single Wednesday. And you do them Friday too, right?
No.
Every single Wednesday.
We stream Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Central and Thursdays at noon Central. And we've got a lot of really fun stuff coming up this kind of fall and winter season. A lot of collaborative stuff with some of the presenters that are even participating this weekend. So it looks like...
That being said, make sure to follow the Bead Place on Facebook and Instagram so you can attend those weekly live shows.
Yeah. So I see a lot of people kind of considering making road trips to the St. Louis area. Not only are there a lot of fun classes you can take here, but this is kind of like a creative mecca. Like it's just, there's a lot of, like if you're into quilting or knitting or needlepoint, there's a lot of fun crafty places in the area where you can take classes. And if you would like to use our Facebook group, the Bead Place Facebook group, as a place to plan your event, get some friends together and post when you're coming, we would be happy to
do it.
We would be happy to host and accommodate. And then next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central, we have a stream coming up with Becky, who we were mentioning earlier. She designed a limited edition kit called the Forest Frolic Kit. And I believe there's less than 10 of those left in our website. So Alex, if you would want to link that in chat for them. And then later on today, we have our guest presenter, Lauren DeVue of the Needlepoint Clubhouse, also in St. Louis. So she is going to be sharing with you a lot of fun beading techniques for needlepoint.
There's that Forest Frolic in the comments.
Yeah. And then we are going to be choosing a winner from the comments of these streams. And no hashtag, nothing. We'll just choose a winner from anybody who commented on these streams. And we were going to announce the winner in our live stream next Wednesday. So you have to be watching live to be the winner. So watch us next Wednesday if you would like to win the prize. And it's a gift certificate to the store, so that's exciting. And then if you're into Halloween, on October 26th, we have our big annual Halloween party. We have over $250 in prizes. If you guys want to see the big glass beaded skull, we have like 2 minutes left. I can go get the skull and show them. You can share instant.
I think
social media
we should
links.
Probably wrap this up.
Okay. I'm going to go get the skull. We'll show you the skull and then we'll head out.
All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining us. We are entering the last leg of the stream for us here today. I know it said last time putting the link, but I'm going to put the link one more time. And again, thank you all so much. Shout out to all the other presenters. We appreciate you. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that other stuff. Check out Abby's YouTube channel as well. There's a skull. But yes, check out that link if you want to purchase the kit that we showed off here today.
Okay, so here is the glass skull filled with over $200 worth of high-end beads. If you come to our Halloween party in store October 26th, and if you are one of the winners of the Halloween costume contest, you could win this skull. So come see us. Everybody's like, stop.
Yeah, including me.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. This was so fun. Make sure to stick around for Heather Powers of Humble Beads. She is up next. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Have a great day. Adios.
Bye.